that says, it's highlighted in red, it says DEV SRPM for testing. And you want to go ahead and log on that. When that pops up, they should have the your login code will actually be your territory name, but for training purposes, we're using the CHS1 at srpcompanies.com. And the PIN number to get in is the last 4 of your SOCH, but for training purposes on this, it's 1234. Okay, a warning, this won't happen on your regular app. This is just for training purposes. It's just letting us know that any invoices we create on here are not going to be submitted and won't affect your inventory in any way. So just click OK to go beyond that. Okay, what pops up first is you have, it'll be your listing of stores, but on the top left-hand side, you just hit the, there's 3 bars, and if you hit that, it lists basically all the different applications that are under the new software. First one being listed is route, which actually would bring up your route that's loaded into your handheld, which was the first screen that was up. The next one down is support, and if you click on support, what that'll do, that allows you to sync up your printer. There's a thing for a barcode scanner setup, which is something that we don't use. The Utah division uses that. Data synchronization status, if you click on that, that just basically updates the current data in the system, and it'll tell you the last time it was updated. Once you go into data synchronization, you have to hit the green button at the bottom to basically to make the update happen. Then we'll back out of the sync status. Next thing down is order submission status. Right now, if we click on that, there'll be nothing in there because we haven't done anything yet. Well, there's stuff in there. I guess we didn't clear the cache on this. These were just practice invoices from before, but it basically shows you the status of orders that were placed already on the system. And configuration information, basically what that's going to have is all the information about your phone in general. And so if you need to provide some information to IT for any reason, they may have you go to that screen to pull that up, because it'll show what version of the app you're running to see if maybe you didn't get an update for some reason. And it'll show you the phone that's listed to you, whether you're running it in S5, S7, or the Note. Okay, back out of that, then you go out into daily summary. That's the third one down. And what that will do is it'll list basically the stores that you did today, any orders that you processed, any SPT orders that were done, or any collections that you made. Right now, this won't be populated until we get into it and start doing some of the invoices. And, click back on that button, and then we go down into the inventory section, and the first wing is called sellable inventory, and there'll be a little truck icon next to it. And if you click on that, what it'll populate up is basically your inventory that's in your system, and it's listed in there by sequential number by item number. Okay, the return inventory, that'll basically show any inventory that we're going to be returning back out of our warehouse. So when we key on stuff in there, you do it by category, or you can search by item number, and you basically enter items in there to return from your warehouse back to Oklahoma. There's a function under there for inventory audit as well, which is not something that we're doing right now. That's basically the auditor's function, but that's something that you already see on your inventory management on your current phone. Okay, so now we're going to go into the actual how to do invoices in the store. So you're going to click on route, okay, and basically that bottom green on the bottom right hand part of the screen, there's a green action button. When you type that green action button, it'll basically automatically pull up the next store on your list. Okay, now it'll list the store number, and it operates on the same geofence that we do right now, where you have to be within a certain distance of the store. Now you can click to something called Navigate to, which will actually pull up the map and map you to that store. Now it's going to show us something crazy for those of you who can see it right now, because we're working out of Colorado and doing a store in the Carolinas. So it's going to take 24 hours to get to that store.
Sorry about the interruptions. I was a few minutes late. What application you're under?
I'm sorry?
I was a few minutes late. What application are you up under?
We're under the SRP development.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, on the top right-hand part of the screen, there'll be 3 dots, and you can click on that. And what we're going to do is override the GPS because so we can service the store. Click override GPS again. Okay, and it's going to want a reason why we're doing that. For this purposes, we're just going to type some garble in there, just testing or something. And then always hit the green action button. Okay, a little menu is going to pop up at the top now that shows you the different categories that you need to take care of in the store. There is a warning sign up there that you'll see that the orders won't be submitted, and that shows that you're in the training app. Okay, so the top right hand part of the screen also has a clock ticking, which basically is going to show you how long you've been working in that store. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go in and we're going to create a invoice, and we're going to click on the DSD. Okay, and it's going to pop up another screen that shows the different things we can do there. Okay, first thing we're going to do is a delivery invoice. So we'll hit on delivery invoice. Okay, and it'll generate an invoice number, and then what we need to do is hit that green button down to bottom, the action button, to add items to this inventory. Now, a little menu of circles is going to pop up that's going to show you different ways that you can add the inventory onto the invoice. The top one is the one most of us will probably be using, is to enter it by the item number. The second one down, we can enter by UPC number. The third one down, we won't be using. That's because the Utah division, some of the reps actually have an external scanner. Below that is one for camera. That's so you can scan barcodes off your camera on your phone. Next one is, I'm having a tough time reading it here, is name. So you can actually search by the description of the product. And the last one is for planogram, which is something that we are not using yet, but is going to be for the future, where we can basically pull the planogram up by store. So we're going to enter by SKU, okay, and it's going to pop up. And what we can do is just start entering in an item number, just say 41028. Okay, and it'll pop up the item number, and you click on it. Okay, and there's a rolling wheel there that you can just scroll and add the quantity that you want to do. Now, there is something, and we can't show this on the actual computer screen, but if you hold down on the number, a 10-key keyboard will pop up at the bottom of your screen. So if you're selling in like bricks and lighters where you need to put in like a quantity of 200, you could actually just type in 200 and then click add. Okay. Now, after each item that you enter, you have to click that plus button at the bottom to get onto the to pull up the next item. It'll automatically stay in the same mode that you were in, that SKU mode. So you can enter another number, say 40737. Okay, you highlight the item, and then you put a quantity in, and then you click add. Okay, now for simplicity purposes, we're not going to do a large invoice here. So what we need to do next is we have to go back up to the top and hit the back button. Okay, and there's going to be a little gray dot with a 1 in it that'll show you that there's stuff.
I don't know if we lost Mark. We may have a bad connection. I'm going to jump in here until he comes back on. So Jason, once again, we've got a gray circle on the 1 that shows 1.
I have yet to be able to get logged into this, so I have not been able to see anything we're discussing at all.
Well, if you can just listen in at this point right now, we'll have a video that you can watch at a later point. Okay?
Sure.
So what you want to do is you're going to go down to the bottom of the screen, because we're going to do an individual invoice. So we're going to hit the green check button. It's going to show you that you have the preview up there. So this is the preview of your invoice. And basically, you know, you have the ability to approve by single invoice or single item, sorry, or you can click on the 3 bullets in the upper right-hand corner and approve all. If we hit approve all, that's going to ask you, do you want to approve all? And basically, you click on that. It's going to show that all items are approved. You'll see at the bottom, it has 2 line items as well as 25 items and the total amount. Now we're going to move forward. We click our button. It's going to show the invoice total, 231, and you see the green action button now is a pencil. So it's going to be asking for the customer's name. So we'll put a name in there of some type. Manager.
I have a question.
Okay. Can you wait till we get to the question and answers at the end?
Oh, sure.
Probably what you're going to say is, can you do an invoice and a credit at the same time? And yes, we can. But keep the question and we'll go over anything that you have at the end. But the idea is we're trying to run through an individual invoice and then an individual basically credit. So if you hit approve, it's going to bring it up. It says order was approved. If we wanted to print, we could currently print right now, but we don't have a printer set up. So we're going to click back. Upper left there. Do you want to skip the printing? We're going to say yes. And because we're skipping the printing, we have to provide a reason. We're in training. We'll hit yes. And as you see, we've got an invoice, and it shows with the green circle a 1. So that means it is completed. And I know right now Mark is trying to call me. So Dean, if you could reach out to him, and I'll continue. So now we're going to take a look at a credit ticket. So So if we click on a credit ticket, as we've seen before, you can, you know, it's going to list the credit invoice. You're going to go down, whether you're going to use SKU or you need some of the others, but we'll start with SKU and just type in 4124, see what we come up with. Let's just hit the animal figurines or that one. So put in a few items there, Jason, maybe about 10. We're going to add. Click the SKU again. Let's just go to the travel pillow down there, about halfway right there. There you go. Put in about 10 items. Now click the green button, Jason. We're going to show that you can put it in by name. So let's click on the name, just so you guys, so if you start typing A2 or any type of name up there, it's going to zero it down, and basically you see the A2 activity sports classes. So let's click on that, and we'll put in about 5 of those. So as you can see, we'll hit add. So we're going to do the same thing now. You've got the 3 lines and 25 items with a credit of $175.45. If you go back up and click your back arrow, that's going to take you back. Once again, you're going to see the gray circle with means you have 1 invoice that is not completed yet. So we're going to hit the green check button at the bottom right, and it brings up your preview screen. So once again, if you have the opportunity, you can either do it by individual items and check them off, or approve all. So we approve 1 or we approve all. Do you want to approve? You say yes. Now here you see that they're all checked off. We're going to move to the next window. And this is the window that you guys currently have. I know our group in the Utah division is looking forward to this, because you're going to see that there is all the items that are going back to the warehouse currently, but then you have the ability to restock some of those items if you want to put them back in your individual van. So let's take a look at the travel pillows. And as you can see, when you click on that, there's going to be 2 wheelhouses down there, one for warehouse and one for restock. Whenever you move one, it'll simultaneously adjust the other one. So if you put the warehouse to 1, it's going to put 9 in restock, or 2, it's going to be 8. So once you determine what you want in restock, you'll move over and hit the gray check button, and that means you'll be done. So let's go in and do the sunglasses also, because he just had a 3 extra and 2 were damaged. So let's put 3 into our restock. And as you can see, once you get 3, you check on that, and you're basically ready to go, because you have 3 lines, you got 15 items, and you've got 2 lines and 10 items on the restock. So that looks good to us. So we're going to hit the green check. It's going to give you a summary. So the customer's not going to see the ticket the way you see it for the warehouse. It's just like you do now. They're going to get a regular ticket. So we're going to click on our checkout green button. You're going to put the manager's name in, and we're going to sign off. We're going to approve. And once again, we're going to not print, so because we don't have a printer set up, so we're going to go back. And yes, we're going to skip, and we got to put in our testing or training. And then hit yes. So now you're going to see that you have a completed invoice and you have a completed, basically, credit. So now we're going to see, let's take a look at the collect payment. Because supposedly this customer has got a few invoices that we need to collect, so we have the ability to do that. I think we're going to have some invoices in here. It's thinking a little bit. So I have faith in our folks. There they are. So as you can see, we have a few invoices in here for this gentleman, but we're going to just take a look at the first one. So if you were going to click on that first invoice, it'll show you it's $44.58. We're going to say OK. It's going to put the number, the dollar amount up there, collected amount, and we're going to click on check because he normally writes a check for us. And you can put in a check number, 1234, whatever the check number is. You can go down to the green action button. You'll click on that. And if you needed to print a copy or two, whatever you need there, you can do that. We're not going to print at this point. So it says collection request queried. All those that say queried, we're going to put in something that says done or submitted. So we're going to hit the print arrow back, I think, Jason, or is it going to still work? Print succeeded. Oh, okay, maybe you did a print there. So we're going to go back.
I've got a printer set up.
Oh, do you? Okay. So Jason's printing something, so that's done. So we did collect a payment here, so now we're going to go back. So that was done. So now if you go back, because we have in our DSD category, we have an invoice and a credit. So we go back, you'll see that the DSD category is completed. 2 invoices in there. We're going to go into income because this particular store has income. And in this case, you guys would be, and ladies, you would be using your camera to basically scan the number of items that you need for the income and the number of cards. They would actually show up on here if you scanned, you know, 5 of one, 10 of another, 3 of another. I'm just making up some numbers. They would show up there. You would do a submit. It would say it was submitted and across it goes. But in this particular case, because we have to close it, we're going to do a no product needed. And of course we print if we need to, but we're gonna exit. And that's going to show that you completed the DSD, you completed the income cards. Now if you hit back, we're going to go and say, do you want to close the store? And we're going to say yes, close store. And there's our warning again. This should show, there it is, okay. It shows our Parker's number 48 is completed. You can see it turn green. You've got the time on the right that shows we were in the store 15 minutes and 32 seconds. So now we're going to go down and hit the green action button and go to the next store. And in this particular case, we're pulling up to the store. Let's say we're pulling up. We're going to hit the 3 buttons because the manager comes out and he says, you know, hey, I'm doing an inventory. So we're going to do a skip store visit. And it's going to say, why do you want to skip the store visit? And we're going to say inventory audit. We're going to do the green check. And if we go up, you're going to see that the Parker number 58 we skipped. It's in yellow or somewhat of a faint orange. So we may have to come back to this store. So now we're going to go down to Parker's 55. So we're going to click on the green action button. Once again, we could go through.
Paul, I came back. My computer came back on again.
Oh, Mark, you're back?
I lost internet.
Okay. Not, sorry, I had to take over. So
That's okay.
we're right at the page where we just skipped the second store. If you want to go into the last store and continue, we're going to, you know, go in and do a no product needed or whatever you have to do. So, are you going to do an invoice and a credit together?
Okay, so you already did invoice and credit? Okay, so we're going to go to the 3 dots at the top, and we're going to click on that, override the GPS again, and put in a reason why we're going to be overriding it. Okay. This particular store,
Yeah, you can show them, Mark, on this one that you can do a invoice and a credit together. This is the last store.
I think Mark might have dropped off again.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll move on again. We're just gonna go through the process real quick here. We're gonna go in and do an invoice. We're just gonna pick a SKU. Just take the top one there. We're gonna go through the process of putting in some items. We're gonna add. That's good. We got 2 items. Now we're gonna go back. You're gonna see that we have the gray, 1 invoice incomplete yet, but we're gonna do a credit now. Click on the credit. So we're going to put in a couple items. Jason, just pick whatever you want. Make sure we've got doubles or whatever we need. And then we're going to go back. You're going to see that we have both invoice and a credit. So we're going to go down to the check button. And that's going to show us the preview of the first, which is the invoice. So we want to approve both of these. You can see that it says invoice underneath. We'll approve both of those. We'll move forward. Now we're going to have the second, which shows credit, 2 of 2. We're going to approve that. We're going to move forward. And once again, your credit scenario comes up if you want to put something back on the truck. So let's put some of the mints back on the truck. We've got 15. Jason's going to decide, so he's going to put 10. He's going to do a check. And then you can see that we have the 2 different categories. Some are, 10 items on one side of the warehouse and 10 items going back to our truck. We hit the check mark. It's going to show you the summary, the invoice, and the credit, and it's basically a total of minus $16.50. Put in the manager's name. And then we do an approve. And then if, Jason, you want to print, and we actually print, that'll be fine.
This will default to 2 copies as a request from Mark.
Okay. So that'll automatically give you 1 copy and the customer 1 copy. I know in the Utah division, we have some customers that want 2 copies. So, you may want to do that or whatever it needs to be. So, printing out, you heard the action going on in the back front. So let's go back. You're going to see that we have 2 tickets done. We go back once again to our main page. You're going to see an invoice and a credit are green. We go back. That's going to show us that the DSD category is done. Because this place has income cards, we're going to have to go in there and at least do a no product needed. We hit that. We go back, and it's going to say yes. And go back once more, and it's going to show that all the things are done in this particular account. And when you hit the back arrow, it will show that you want to close your store. And then it will show that this store is done. Now, we're just getting in our truck and we're getting ready to go, and the customer from Parker's number 58 calls us up and says, hey, we're done with the inventory. Can you come back? So how would you go back? You just click on Parker's number 58. A new screen is going to come up. It's the same old visit info, but it's going to show that you can reopen the visit. So you click on the reopen. And what's the reason you're going back to reopen this store? There was an inventory and the manager called, or is complete. You click on green check, and then you're going to hit the 3 buttons. And we're going to override the GPS. And same thing, training. And Jason, if we just go in and do a no product needed on both of those, so we can show that we were able to go into the account, do our service. More than likely, we're not going to be doing a no product needed, but just for training purposes, we want to show that. So as we go back, you're going to see both are green. We want to close the store. We say yes. And then that's going to show us that all 3 of our stores have been done. You've got the times, as I said, on the right that shows you the time you were in the stores. So now we should have some data that we can look at. So we're going to go back to our main nav drawer. And we're going to go in and first look at daily summary, see what's in here. So let's go up and look at the list of stores visited today. Uh-oh. May have a small malfunction here on the, do we got any orders? Maybe we're not going to be able to do that. So in this particular case, we would be able to go and look at the stores we visited, as well as orders and any collections. But for right now, I guess we're not going to be able to look at that information.
Our data hasn't synced yet, so we'll come back later.
Okay. So let's open it up, and then we have an inventory section that we're going to look at. And we're first going to go into the sellable inventory. And Mark basically touched base on this a little bit earlier. So we have the opportunity in the sellable inventory, basically all your inventory in your warehouse and in your truck is loaded in here. You can see there's 20 products and 44.95 total items for a total amount of $45,728.73. So you can scroll up and down and move this list, or you can take a look at the top where it says all. It's got all right now, or you can move it by items. So if you move it by items horizontally across, slide to the left, let's go into, I think it's the energy, the next one, energy supplements, and it'll show something's in there from that standpoint. Basically, energy supplements, we've got 24 swarm in here. So let's go back to all. And we're going to do a transfer. So we're going to go over to the right-hand corner. We're going to hit the 3 buttons. We're going to touch transfer. And if you were going to, right now we have Sylvia Gray, and we were going to transfer to somebody. So you've got the opportunity to type in their name or start with LOC, and that'll start with their locator number. So now names are coming up. Jason, pick whoever you like. We're going to pick Mark because Mark is either here or not here. I'm not sure.
I'm here. I'm back again, but
you want to take over again?
well, my internet keeps dropping out, so you'll have to jump in if I fade out again.
All right. Well, go ahead, Mark, and I'll jump back in if I need to.
Okay. Well, basically, we selected transferring the merchandise to me, and then it's coming from the rep that's already listed there, Sylvia Gray, and you can provide a comment in there, just needed product or, whatever reason that you're transferring product. And then once you complete that, you hit the green action button at the bottom. Okay. And that's going to show the items that are going to be transferred. Okay. Once you get to that, then you hit the green action button again. You didn't key those in yet, did you? Okay. Once you key that in, you can enter the transfer, the quantity. You click on the product, and then you hit the quantity that you want to transfer.
Okay, Mark, you still there? I guess not. Okay, so we're back. As you can see, there's a split screen. Because this is we're doing this on the computer, we have to jump out for a minute. So Jason put in a couple things. So he basically transferred 10 of the swarm. He transferred 15 of the bin, number 59, whatever that is. I'm not really sure. But that shows you down at the bottom, 2 products, total items 25 for $274.75. So once you go in to do that, you're going to bring it down. You're going to hit your green action button and go to the next screen. And it's going to show you the same items, the total products and total items. And then you're going to look for the 2 signatures by both parties. So we'll sign in Sylvia and sign in Mark. Or in this case, we'll sign out Mark. And we hit the green action button. And boom, that goes forward. It says, do you really want to complete your action? You say yes, complete. And it says transfer request was queried. Once again, that's probably going to end up saying submitted or done. And then if you want to print that, you can. Jason is going to print that. And then as soon as we're done that printing, we're going to go back. So we're going to, yes, exit. And we're going to be back in this section again of our sellable inventory. We go back up to the 3 buttons up at the top. You're going to have the opportunity to place an order. So in this particular case, the same thing we're looking at. And Jason, go ahead. I'm going to talk through a couple of these things if you want to just place an order for a couple items. In this particular area, we're going to, Jason's going to place an order for a couple items. It's my understanding that, ladies and gentlemen, you may, if you're in a certain situation, you can place up to a certain number of items for a particular order if you're low. If you place too many, and Rebecca, you may want to chime in on this. If you place a certain order over the, I guess, agreeable amount, you're probably going to get a call. But you'll have the ability to place an order, get this submitted, and get the product sent to you. I think, if I'm pretty sure, this is going to be also the area that you're going to have the opportunity to place orders for particular stores. And I know they're still working on the SPP part category for how you do that. So I think there's a little bit of information here that we're going to have to update you guys on when it gets finished. But as you can see, same thing, 4 products, a total of 50 items. And you're going to click on that. And then that's going to, do you really want to complete your action? And you say yes, complete. And then that's going to, your order request was queried, or it's going to say that it was complete or transferred. Now the last one in there is you're looking at check-in order. So if we click on that, you're going to be doing it the same way you do today. You're going to have an order that shows that it showed up. You can click on the order and check in. I don't think we really have in the testing function the ability to do that. I'm not sure, Jason, if that's up to speed or not, whether we have something in there.
It works. We just don't have an order to check in. Sylvia hasn't received a shipment to her receiving warehouse, so there is no order to check in at this time.
So we don't have anything to do right there, but that's how you do it. You'd have an order show up, you'd click on the order, and then you'd go through that. So let's go back to the main nav drawer, and then we're going to look at return inventory. So we click on return inventory. So we had some items going back with some of the activities that we did. So we're going to click on that item right there. Or excuse me, we're going to go up to the three bullets. And either we want to restock it to our vehicle, or we want to ship returns. And in this particular case, we just want to ship it back. So if we click that, this is what's in here. If you wanted to ship some of this stuff back, you could ship any of this back. Once again, it's the same thing. If you click on one of those items, we're going to go out. So I'm going to have Jason just do a couple items that shows we need to ship some of this stuff back. We have excess inventory. We've got old inventory, whatever we need to ship back. And when he comes back, we'll have a couple items that we can show. You see we got 17 products and 37 total items. So we're going to hit the green arrow. And then you would either enter UPS, FedEx, whether it's freight, local, all that stuff, and everything that you need. This is a normal process for Utah division or the Oklahoma division. And then when you're done, you place that. Yes, you want to complete this action. And you can print out your inventory return as well as your box labels, return box labels like this. So you want to click on one or both that you need. And you print a number of copies. And that will print out. I'm gathering that's printing at your location, Jason. It says the print operation takes too long.
It finished.
Okay. All right, so we'll go back. And then the last function that's in there in the inventory section is the audit. As we go back. Is the inventory audit. And in this particular case, it's my understanding that the auditor, you would put in their email address, and then the auditor would put in their PIN number, and you're going to be handing that off to them, and then they're going to be actually doing their audit. So this is a pretty simple process here. So let's go back one more time to the main nav drawer. So on this deal, as you can see, this has everything that you need on the main nav drawer, and you just go from there. So we are recording this video. You can go back and we'll send out an email where you'll be able to view the actual video again, as well as the questions we're going to do. So right now, if you have any questions, now is the time. We're going to have an open question and answer thing, and if we want to go back to something, we can. So don't be shy.
I'm still sitting in a store, and I don't know how to get out because I fell behind and didn't get through all that.
You want to get out of the app?
I'm still sitting in a store for 22 minutes and 38 seconds because I don't know how to end it.
Okay. Well, you probably, as I said earlier, you have to, in a particular store, you have to complete an invoice, or you have to complete the income cards, both in order to get out, and you go up to the back arrow. If you haven't completed your income or done a no product needed or something along those lines, then you won't be able to get out, because it's going to make sure that you're completing the DSD section as well as the income section.
Jerry Wright, I have a question.
Go ahead, Jerry.
As management, are we going to be able to have the testing app still open, so if when the reps call, we can walk them through a step if we need to, if they're stuck?
The testing app is on the phones currently right now. What we are encouraging everybody to do is, after this training session is done, to go back, review the training session, and practice on the training app. basically train as much as you want. You can't hurt anything in the training app. You're not going to send any tickets. You're not going to break anything. You may get stuck, like we just had an example, and that's okay. We've got all the managers are currently trained right now. You can call in. You can ask questions. If you're really stuck, and you know, Dean, myself, and Chasen are out there to follow up with any questions you may have. Rebecca, I think to a certain degree is probably smarter than all of us put together. So we have all these people to support you over the next couple weeks. And when I say it's not really a couple weeks right now because we're moving up to the end of the month. June 4th is coming up pretty quick. So if you set the phone down and you don't look at it or you don't train with it and you show up on June 4th, you're going to have some problems. So I encourage you to train, experiment, just work with it as much as you can. And if you've got questions or more questions than today, or if you don't want to ask a question today, write it down, send an email. We'll work with you. We'll call you personally, one-on-one, help you out. Not a problem. Does that answer your question?
Brandon O'Donnell, I have a question. When you're in a store, you've created an invoice, you've created the credit invoice. Is there a way to print like a check-in ticket so that the manager can check in the order with us, or is it all on the screen?
Yes, there is an ability to print out a check-in ticket, and I can demo that for you really quick because I'm sure others might have that same question. Right here, you'll see once you get to the approval screen to approve the items, you know, you can click and make it turn green to then advance for the invoice and print functionality. Or if you come up to the top, right here, you'll see the printer, and it will ask you if you want to print a check-in ticket or print a check-in ticket with UPCs.
Okay. Now, we still have to click on the items in the preview and make them green before we can continue, correct?
Yes, so right now you can, they can be unapproved and you can print your check-in ticket. And then once you're checked in and, you know, the store manager says, all right, everything's good to go, you can then select approve all and then advance to finalizing with the manager's signature and last name.
Now, if you have two invoices, the invoice or the delivery and the credit, will you have to print the check-in tickets separate, or when you print, it will print both?
It will print both, but they will be separated.
Okay.
So that way there's not confusion as to one receipt showing plus and minus on it. One will be the invoice and one will be the credit, but they will print at the same time.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? I think we lost Paul. Oh, where is he? There he is.
Yep, sorry. No, that was a good question, and I apologize for not showing that.
I think I accidentally muted Paul. That was my bad.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, good question, and I apologize for not doing that. I had a couple emails and phone calls going on in the background here. Sorry. Other questions? Please don't hesitate to ask any question. There's no dumb question. We're all learning.
One other question I thought of.
Sure.
Since you couldn't show the receiving an order, when we receive an order, does that work? I mean, is there like an approve all you know, where we have to actually make sure, or if there's a discrepancy, you know, is there a way to make the change or whatever?
You're asking, can you approve all at one time, or are you going check by check?
Well, like, okay, so I have an order in my receiving unit. I go into receive the order. If there's any discrepancies, you know, is there a way that we could, you know, mention the discrepancies?
And I'm going to refer to Chase, and I believe there is going to be where you're going to be able to show that there is a discrepancy, and you're going to be able to communicate that back. Is that correct?
So currently, the way that the check-in order process works is that you'll select the order to check in. It will view all of the contents of the order, so you can go through and double check what you actually received versus what the system says you were sent. And then there'll be a comment section where you can input any discrepancies that you received 10 instead of 20, or you received one case instead of 2 cases, just like the SolarAce service app currently has. And then,
okay, so it's pretty much the same way as the SolarAce service app.
Correct. Yeah. The main functionality of this app is to be an as-is integration. So to take everything that you guys currently have, the main differences you'll see is that the layout and the color is slightly different than what you're used to. But the functionality, the core functionality, will still be there.
All right. That's all I can think of.
Anyone else? I know there's got to be more questions out there. As I said, they are trying to make this as simple as possible to what you guys are already using, ladies. So, as Jason said, they look a little bit different, but I would say that, you know, functionality, it's probably 90% the same of what you're doing today. Rebecca, do you have any thoughts for the group?
Nope. I think you about covered it all.
I'm going to ask one more time for more questions.
I think what everyone needs to do is what Paul talked about, is to play in the app a little bit and create some invoices and go in there and just play around with it, because that's the best way you're going to learn.
Yes, and if anybody is unable to get in the app, make sure and communicate that with either Mark or I, and we'll make sure we get everything worked out for you. And remember that CHS1 is the test login. You're not going to log in with your own territory. You are going to use CHS1.
And that's a great point, Rebecca. If you cannot get into the app, get an email to Rebecca or Mark, and everybody will work feverishly to get you squared away, because we want everybody to be able to work with this starting today and for the next week and a half.
So when we play around with it from now until the 4th, we use the testing app.
You use the SRP dev.
Okay.
Jason, can you go back real quick and show it what it looks like? Show everybody what it looks like in your apps. There's a very distinct, you can see right there, the dev is a, you know, depending on the phones, it's a kind of a reddish orange. On this particular screen, it looks pretty red, but you can see it says dev SRP for testing. And in the app itself, it says SRP, and you can see the dev in white. So that is the app you want to use.
And from my understanding, I believe that the IT department and Mark Cussery have set it up so that the dev app is the only app that is on your phone. The dev SRP for testing.
That's why I was asking, because right now I only see the two red apps on my phone.
Correct. To avoid any mistakes, because since the apps look so much alike, they have only allowed the dev app onto the devices. Come June 3rd or June 4th, you will no longer see the dev app. You will then see this app down here, which is the live app that actually transmits data and will affect customer accounts. The one that you'll be using regularly will be this one down here. So those will get replaced around June 4th when you're ready to go live.
Okay.
Okay, if we'll do one more shot here. Any more questions? If we don't have any more questions, one going once.
Yeah, I got a question.
Okay.
David DeGiorgi here. On my testing app, there are no stores on the store list, so I'm not able to do any orders or anything like that.
David,
And you logged in as CHS1?
What was that, CHS1?
Yes.
Let me try that.
Yeah, just a quick reminder, on the login page for the testing, you have to put in as the user CHS1 at SRPcompanies.com, and the login number is 1234. Once again, just like on TV with they say it a second time, the username is CHS1 at SRPcompanies.com, and the login number is 1234.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, he's looking at it now.
All righty, great. So we'll go to going twice. Any more questions?
Renee, I'll give you a call after the call-ins, okay?
So going a third time with that, if there's no more questions, we appreciate everybody's time. Hopefully this was helpful. And please take the time to work with the app and come up with more questions. With that, I'll say have a great day.
thanks everyone.